I would want you to explain to me how long an EB-2 NIW process would take and what would my life look like being on another visa, right? And I'm applying for the EB-2 NIW. What do I do? At one point, I'm like, oh, okay, it's approved. I can just relax. It's just a matter of time. Or at one point, I still have that anxious waiting.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on each person's circumstances, right? If you are here on a visa, whether it be an H-1B or, an L, maybe there's people who are here on student visa, right? But a student visa doesn't allow you to work, right? So that's like a very touchy subject, H-1B. Right? So yeah, I mean, it's a lot of, anxiety, obviously, on the part of, you, especially if you have a family, right? There's a retrogression right now. So the fact that, you are clinging to your ability to stay in this country through a company, it's pretty nerve-wracking, right? Because I mean, if the company fires you, then you're pretty much done unless you're able to find another company that will hire you in the same position that you were approved by, right? So yeah, I mean, it creates a lot of tension and nervousness, and like I said, this is something that is constantly changing. So hopefully, it's not going to be the reality, but it's part of the process. It's just simply how it is.
But essentially, say I built my case for EB-2 NIW today. And then we send it over, we do premium processing. 45 days later, I get an answer, whether it is approved or denied or RFE. Say it is approved.
Yep.
How does my life look like from then on? What are the steps? Am I, first of all, secure in America? Am I still, let's say, under the leash of the employer? Or could I just relax?
Depending on which country it is. But let's just assume that it's not India or China, for example, right?
Okay.
Right. So then at that point, I would say that you should feel pretty happy, right?
Really?
Yeah, because, there might be, maybe a year and a half wait or something like that, right? But at least you got the hardest part done. It has been recognized, right, that you're not a person of exceptional ability, right? And of national importance or national interest, right? So the hard part is done, right? And yes, you might be nervous because you're clinging on to this one particular job now that's giving you the opportunity to stay here in the United States. But in the end, the petition was approved. So if you encounter a situation where you no longer have a job, you no longer can find another job where you can maintain status in here. Well, I mean, the worst that could happen is that you're going to have to go back to your country, maybe wait a year, right? And then go and do consular processing and be able to come in here with your residency after doing the consular processing.
Can you change jobs with the status here?
Depending which visa you're in here. So it's all circumstantial.
Are you still on that? Okay, say you're an H-1B, you apply for EB-2 NIW, got approved, doing change of status. What status are you on? Are you on a green card status?
So when you're getting a residency, you don't change status. When you're applying from one visa, right, a non-immigrant visa to an immigrant visa, which is a residency, you don't change status. You adjust your status. Right?
Adjust status.
So you're adjusting your status. So yeah. So essentially, I mean, the process is if the category, right, of that particular visa you're applying for, right, is not on retrogression at that point, the second is not in retrogression, right. And then you can file for adjustment status. And at that point, right, you can also petition for a work permit. The second you get the work permit, which typically doesn't take as long as the adjustment of status, maybe 3 months for you to get it. At that point, you're scot-free.
Yeah.
Because you can work and you're not clinging on to, that particular company. You can work pretty much in anything. It doesn't have to even, be the same company that you are in because you're doing a self-petition. So after you get your work authorization, you can work in whatever you want. Right. And then you get the process sort of adjudicated and, you get your green card and you're good to go.